Here we are in Rocky Mountain High. I'm not going to play right away, but I want to do the game so far. I didn't do it on the immediately prior video, but we've seen a major shift. In the early video, it looked like this guy was in a lot of trouble. But by taking a different route, and maybe by some luck and whatnot, he's actually gotten himself into quite a lead. He's not competing for locations and for winning, the customers in so much. Now, he sort of does, he's picked up the Goober driver fairly regularly, but what he's been relying on has been his grow capability, and he got kind of lucky. He won a bid that somebody else put in place. Then he won a bid that he put in place that he could kind of guarantee he could win without paying too much when everybody was low in cash. And he might be able to do the same when we get through here as well. I don't know. And has basically managed to outstock other people through use of the wholesale market, through use of his large grow capacity. Nobody else has an increased grow capacity, while others are competing across the board for things like best location, or what's really becoming problematic now, the most strains, which keeps ping-ponging back and forth between these two players, and they're just wasting money on it. But the thing is, they both kind of need it. I'm not saying that this is a dominant strategy. I'm saying that kind of like kind of the opposite of the 18xx tournament strategy. I've often thought that in a lot of games, the person who does the odd thing out can do well, and that is the case here, it seems like. If you dominate where the customers go and no one else can compete with you, I think you'd be in good shape. And that's actually a situation that the second player was in, although he's no longer in that position, but he was in a position where he had advantages over everyone. But now he's low in strain, he's low in advertising with only 3, which is tied with this, and he's behind in terms of location. And the thing is, you kind of have to hire a lot of workers to maintain that kind of strategy. Whereas this strategy, the grows, once you have them, they just trigger same amount no matter what, unless you want to go illegal on the fertilizer, which is another option. He could have probably strengthened himself if he didn't have this card and just took the investigation costs for this, because it's not that bad. And also, you need workers to fight over who has the best strains and whatnot. So this is kind of a cheaper alternative, and I don't know how it would have worked if 2 people had gone kind of that route instead of all trying to find their own niche to get the customers in. But he kind of doesn't need to get the customers in. He can outlast people's smaller capacity, especially since he has enough money to walk in and wholesale a lot of stuff and stock his shelves really heavily. Right now, he's actually undercutting everyone. His yellows are selling at the wholesale price, so he's not actually making money off of them, except when he harvests his own. He's using the Goober to get money off of this, and the reds, there aren't a lot of reds out there right now. So he has kind of that advantage. He might want to up the price of his yellows, because other people have shifted. They're not able to match his low price where they're just breaking even, because that means losing money. They're breaking even on the wholesale cost. They still have to pay other costs. Anyway, I wanted to jump in on that because I think I ended the first video very much with him in a bad position, and he didn't look better. You know, it took partway through the last video for him to get into this kind of position where it's like, wow, I think he's running away with the game. He's got tons more money than anyone else and has the market dominance from that money to be able to do things that the other players can't even compete with. And the best they can do is kind of hope to work along and not, you know, maybe make a little money. This isn't a complete race to the bottom, which I like about this system. What I don't like so far is that I'm finding myself having to keep track of a lot of stuff and do a lot, juggle a lot of things, especially when multiple actions come up. But I'm having more and more trouble with that just personally because I think my brain is turning to mush. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. It's like the last couple of months I've been having real problems with coping with large numbers of players doing complex things in quite the same way. After fucking around for a while, I tried a couple hours to try to sleep and just couldn't do it. No big shock there. Nothing exciting I can do here. Let's just draw one of these. Okay, we get the cheapest yellow. That is me. It's at a crappy 200 bucks. And I gotta sell it, you know. I can't be like, oh no, wait, those prices, not good. All right. Now what do I have? I could get some more greens through a grow. I don't know if that's terribly valuable to me. So what else is? I can't beat these. My yellows, though, I can boost. That'll make other people drop theirs down, but that's like this guy will. But I get a shot at trying to sell that one at good price. The green is at good. My reds are still at the lowest. But what am I doing? That's a good question. Do I want to put even more bud up for growth? That's an interesting idea. Another idea would be to buy some security, but that feels like an expense that I don't want to deal with. I might get unlucky. $1,000 would be a big hit, you know, and a big roll. You know, I think I am going to actually put something up for bid. And how much is it going to produce me? Well, this turn, 1, 2, 3, 4 more grows. I could get like 4 yellow off that. At a cost of $400. Because the yellows actually cost 100, everything costs 100 extra. I'll put a bit of 200. This could really help other people. Yeah, I don't want to do this. What do I want to do? This is really, really tough. I could buy this. That's painful. There really aren't a lot of good options for me. Again, I could build up an option, but it's rather late in the game to do that. Why don't we draw 3 security and see what happens? security, reduce the amount you lose it. I don't want to pay a whole hell of a lot. I'll pay $100 for a guard. It reduces, you know, a little bit. And I can actually put these in whatever order I like. I don't know how much that matters. Nobody's going for security ever. All right, over to this guy. I feel like I wasted a turn. I think I may fire a worker, honestly. Well, I still can. All right, this is going to be cheapest pink. That does not help me, but it doesn't help him much either. So he'll get his 200 from it. I don't like it, but it doesn't feel worth chancing something bad. And I'm in this ugly position where I've got to play this game again and again and again. Or do I? See, I can't. I could undercut him. I just feel so screwed by everything. And I kind of feel like everybody except him is behind the 8 ball here. I could buy stuff that would sell. I could undercut some other things. All right, let's... Oh, we're going to be paying wages. That'll be 2, 3, 4... $1,200. I don't have a lot of money to play with, or else I'm going to have to take more loans. Yeah. All right. I'll spend the 200. And steal the golden goat again. And I don't know what else to do. Plus, there's the 400 for that. Yeah, I'm financially just not in good shape here. Another cheapest pink. He doesn't want to do this. He has 3 cancels. I get to sell my pink. That's worth it. For $300. And now I get to do something. What do I want to do? I got 2 workers. Again, it's so hard to justify anything. I need more production. I'm going to put one of these up. I know, it's fucking late. And I don't know what price to go with. And again, you know, I kind of roll the dice on other people. This would be worth $500. But actually I have to pay an extra 100. So 400. It would be worth $400. This isn't worth it because I only get 1, 2, 3, 4 grows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this becomes the other option, which would cost me, I would make $400 off that as well. I'm going to say it's worth like 200 to me. Does he want to play in this? I don't know. Maybe. He goes up to 300. He already judged that it was worth about 300, so he's not going to go in. He's not going to go in. So he's got a 300 bid right now. Does he want to go to 400? He already used up his turn. He's going to pass on it, so I'm going to spend 300 for him. probably do is see what the break-even point is and whatnot. But there's also the opportunity to do the illegal fertilizer. Now, that was his action. We go to the last player in line. Tired. Cheapest yellow. That's over there. We're going to throw that back in and get 2. Green mine. Okay. No, you don't. We'll goober that for $600 because we can always buy that sucker back. Puts me over here. He has a need for yellow. Just got myself some extra grow farm. I am going to take some risks because I'm way behind. I'm going to flip my grow. Instead of trying to beat him for total stuff, I haven't really been thinking about... See, there's so much to keep in mind. There's like, oh, take your action selection, but then setting your prices. And I always miss steps that I want to be thinking about. Okay, so if I do that, what did I just do? I don't even know what I'm fucking doing. I think I got to stop after I go around this time. I just did a grow. That puts us up to here and here. I want yellows. So I am going to take an illegal test and only pay 100 to produce these. That gets me 2 yellows. And that probably means I'll be at green next. I have the illegal fertilizers I can play with as well, and just hope I don't get busted, right? All right, my yellows. At 300 each, I beat him out because I'm better. I drop these down to 200. I drop these down to 200. My green at 500 is pretty questionable at this point. I'll drop it down to 400. And my red, I'm not thrilled with, but I'll drop it down to 500 to undercut him. That's going to put this sucker here. And again, like I said, my brain is too fuzzy to handle things. And they're getting more and more complex the more things that I'm doing. We are back down here with Rocky Mountain High. I'm very worried. Again, tomorrow I'm supposed to have people over to game. Still don't know what we're going to do. Like, this is, I mean, if it was just up to me, it's going to be like 4 or 5 people. I would pick like Baltimore and Ohio, or, but I don't know how long we have. I don't know. And I kind of don't have a great idea of how long my games are. A lot of them, which is kind of an issue. But either Baltimore and Ohio or maybe Imperial, depending on flavor. I'm really worried. One of the things that I picked was a game that is like, I mean, if they're talking like 2 hours or something, we're just going to go with a simple Euro, something like Union Pacific or Power Grid or something like that. A game that's a character based. I gave that as an option, and my thoughts there were like Tales of the Arabian Nights, which I was setting up with them before, and then I guess something like Talisman or something, preferably without all the shit in it. I don't really have a lot of games of that nature, and I wanted to offer it because I know it's something that's popular and exciting, but I'm kind of like, oh, I hope they don't pick that because it would really suck. Actually, I got to refill my pipe. I brought this one down that's crappy. But I also have to kind of, I want to play down here. Now, I could move all my stuff. These trays can hold one player's thing. And then I got like a board there that I could put the board on and bring it upstairs. But I was hoping to do Lily Banners up there as the next thing and come and get this done here. But we're just not very far along in the game. But I also have to kind of clean shit up. And, you know, I mean, we're not talking about a huge amount of time, but we're talking about somebody who gets nothing done. All right, I'll be back. Oh, with this guy who now has a security guard, wow, is that he gets 3 draws, not 1. That's not necessarily good because you've gone the longest time when you're drawing from the cup yourself. You've gone the longest time since you got to rearrange your prices. However, if you have one of these locations, you get an advantage. Red money. That's between here and here. I think we can be certain that he's going to win it. Highest strain, yes. $500 for a red. But now I'm the only person with any reds at all. So I will up my price. Of course, other people could go to the wholesale and get some, but it's not that great. Comes in and gets me a pink. That really looks like 200 to me. This is for 200. That was 2. Ooh, I don't have the goober anymore. I want to buy the goober. And then cheapest yellow, which is also not me. That's going to be over here again. Highest advertising. Nobody else is up there. So that's the 300, which really does not look like a 300 to me. I'm gonna have to make some change. We're running out of those. I could get more stuff. I'm okay with where my yellows are. There's only one more to sell. I am going to buy the goober. See, it does a couple of things. I get money for it off this, and someone else gets stopped. And I'm going to put the reds up to top. What about the yellow? Do I care? Yeah, I still want to undercut him with the yellow. So that's what we're going to do, following our general strategy. Second player. Gets the cheapest green. Well, it's goober time. And that's a big $600 for that. Does he want to allow that? Yeah. I mean, what the hell? There's just not much I can do. I have a worker. I have these. Can I afford to drop them to 300? I'm going into rent and wages, and I'm gonna owe $500, $900. That's almost all of my money. I just don't have the money to play with that. I think my only option is to go illegal and see what I can see. Not a great sell. Not a great sell. Cartel security for $200. I waste my turn. I was hoping for some kind of opportunity that's really fantastic. I just don't see it, and I don't want to spend money, and that's kind of the problem. I could have put one of these up and maybe burned somebody's cash. How do I feel? I'm okay with the green. Everybody else is at the same price. The yellows, I'm getting undercut. I could use money pretty badly, so I'll put that there. That gets me over to him. Cheapest green. Let's see where it goes. Do I want this? Yeah, I'm okay with it. Although, honestly, I don't have a shot at it. I'll do a redraw. I got a bunch of redraws. Cheapest green. Second redraw. I don't even know what I'm doing, you know? Like, I feel like I could call this at this point. Rent goes up. All right, fuck it. It's already as high as it goes. Is there anything I could do work-wise? Yes. I can buy wholesale. And that's what I'm going to do. No, Jesus, I wish I had more of these. Then I would go illegal on the fertilizer. No question. I need to check how much I'm going to pay. So this is going to cost me $1,000. Did I count his? I don't know if he may even have to take more loans out. It's going to cost, because I don't think I counted that, $1,000, $1,200, $1,300, and $1,700. So I've got a decent amount of money. I got another $1,500 to play with. That's the first thing I want to look at. $1,200 buying myself 3 reds. Putting them at top price because they beat out the other guy who's got red, and I hope for the best. I could have bought more stuff, but greens, I'm undercutting, and basically I break even on each green I buy. It's not worth it. Yellows, if I wanted to sell any, I have to put them down at the break-even point. Again, not worth it. And we did both of our workers. This is a police raid. We don't want that, so we'll throw that away because we have an illegal lab test and we're going to get more illegal. This is the nice thing about being in a good location. The cops aren't going to raid you. We get a walks in and buys red from the closest person. This blows. Do I want to throw this away too? Yeah, because he's my competition and he's going to get it. And he has trouble selling stuff. We get burgled. Well, that blows. Because that was two of our redraws. But you got to take risks. And I owe $900 of stuff. Giving up cash is stupid. You want to give up materials that you have on the board. What am I going to be paying? I'm going to be paying $900 $1,300, 14, 15, 1,600, 17, 1,800 bucks. That's a lot. That's pretty much all my money. 1,900 bucks. 2,000 bucks. Yeah. I'm going to have I have 500 bucks left to play with. So I certainly can't go to the wholesale market here. We'll see what I can get to, though. Okay. If I have to get rid of 900 bucks, I don't know. I mean, this is like everything. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you know. I can certainly get rid of a couple of these. That's 400 bucks. 5, 6, 7, 400, 800, 900. Just let him steal stuff from me. Not at all thrilled about it, but again, you got to take higher risks when you're this far behind. And everybody's this far behind him. And I you know what? Instead of doing the whole move, I think I'm going to probably call it. But I'm going to play a little bit more. Because I really do think he's just running away with the game at this point. And it's just, you know, a weird situation. So what do I do for my action? Well, and I'm not going to have time to see if this works, but if I buy an illegal fertilizer market, then as an action for $100, I can advance my couple of seeds. I already growed. That sucks. Okay, we'll take the illegal fertilizer. We've got some protection, so we're unlikely to get busted by being in a top area of the town. That puts it here. I got a break. There's only so much of this I can face. I'm juggling so much in my head when I'm playing it. Back down here after making myself some lunch or something. Curry thing. What I do is when I have something I want to cook, and in this case I had some peppers and stuff that someone gave me, that I kind of cook up, I don't know, it's sort of like a meat or a veg, usually meat. Vegetables I usually do different things with. And then I put I take a tortilla, I put a little mayonnaise on it. You could use sour cream instead, whichever you favor, I guess. Some spinach and a layer of that, and just make a wrap out of that. It's sort of become kind of a common thing for me at this point. I don't know why. All right, we're on the winning poor guy. He gets first choice on green. Doesn't go to him. Sells here. Because we don't have Goober anymore. And so that's 400 bucks here. I gotta make some change. Said that before. And what's he trying to do? Well, unfortunately, I must have gone before, so I'm going to flip that over. I am no longer the best choice for red stuff. Trying to decide what to do, whether to grow or why does he have to? Did he buy a worker? That doesn't make sense. Why does he have two used people? Maybe I flipped one of his over instead of one of his. Because everybody... No, this doesn't make sense. Fuck. Everybody has 2 used, except him. And that makes sense. I did one yesterday. I came down and did one today. He should have, I guess, 2 workers used. Okay. Which means I have no choice. I have to grow. Do I want to harvest those greenies? I got a couple of reds. There are greens out there. There's not a shit ton of them. Why don't I pay $200? And you can see I'm fucking up enough that I don't know that things are honest, right? I get 2 greens. I am going to put them up at $600 because I don't really care if he makes a few bucks off this. Yeah, I don't remember what I did last night, but it may have been buying the cop. Okay, over here. 3 actions, great. First action's a robber. I do not want to be robbed, so I'm using my 1 to clean that. So I'm still at 3, but now with no re-rolls, which is not optimal. I'm going to sell my own yellow. That's the wrong pool. $300. Let's put one of these. That's 2 with 1 re-roll, or with no re-rolls. Cheapest. Goes to highest location first. That's over here. He gets his $300 for that shit. This is his last one with no reroll. The rent increase has no effect. We do growed and go here. I'm over here. I need a break. I can tell I'm fucking up enough. I'll make some change. Different from the between this game and a lot of others is you don't have any opportunity to pay back loans. Now, if you had one, it would kind of be probably flip a worker to go do that thing, to drop the money off at the bank, whatever. And that would be pretty questionable. Although, given that there's pass, it feels like you should be able to ditch loans. You know, I mean, there are times when you don't want to do a job. He's got 3 that are flipped over, but I think he hired a worker, so he doesn't get a draw. We get over here. He has 2 workers remaining, but he has something kind of cool going for him. It's review time. Do I want a review? Red plus strains would get it. I have no red, 3 strains. He has 4 strains. He would get the review at 5. I'm willing to burn this because I'm not going to get it. It could end up favoring someone else because I don't fucking have anything. You know, let it go. We'll give him the review. Okay, so what is the effect of the review? It adds 2 to... Oh, this is just ugly, though. It adds 2 to advertising. What's his advertising already? His was 3, that would go up to 5. That would beat me out on advertising. Yeah, I don't want him getting that. Fuck that. Let's draw again. And I do have one more draw again. If something terrible comes up, like this, don't want that. Because I've got a couple of illegalities and no lawyer. Not sure I really. And instead, somebody comes in to buy my yellow. They don't find it. They go to the nearest place. That's $300 over here. Okay. And I have the last 2 actions. Okay. I am going to spend $100 and a worker, and I am going to grow. Do I want to leave my situation like this? Yeah. Puts it here. I could cut some yellow, but I don't want to do that just yet. Cheapest pink. We'll go with that. I think that goes to me. Guaranteed. Highest adverts, yeah, I am beating him out. So I get my big $200 for the cheapest pink. I'll just take 100 and I'm gonna grow again. Do I want to clip this stuff? There aren't a lot of yellows out there, so I want to clip the yellow. I've already got the illegal lab test, so I can bypass the extra cost for that. And greens, I don't know. I need extra money, so let's hold on that. Let's just clip the yellow for $100. That gets me 2 yellow. And for price, I'm going to put it up to $400. Because there's only one out there. And I'm hoping, to be able to make some cash off this. That was my second worker. We're at the end of the turn. Everything flips over, and then I pay rents and wages. Take a look. 100 for that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $1,100 for him is what I get to. Oh, it's a lot of money. Over here, he's got an 8, 800, 9, 10, 11, 12, $1,300. I did it again, didn't I? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I owe 400 more. I think I'm doing that regularly, but the guy who's winning is constantly paying that cost, and other people may be forgetting. Over here, he's got the 10, which is 1,000. Let's make it 1,400, 15, 16, $1,700. And it kind of, this guy doesn't pay a lot, is the thing. That's why he's getting along, figuring out ways of making money without having to spend a lot. Over here, 9 and 4. 13, 1,700 already off that. 18, 19, 2,000. 22, 23, $2,400. You can see, he's wiped out now. He had a pile of money, but he's gone. That's going to put me over here. He was last player, so it keeps going here. He's always going first. We're going to pause for a bit. We are in kind of the home stretch. There's only 3 more turns. I think there's a chance I get through this. I think I can get through it. But again, I've made fuck ups, right? It's kind of an interesting thing because somebody could, like this ripoff, he could start ripping people off. Who cares if his location is -2? Seriously. He's never going to win a location fight. He's at the one location. He can sell his yellow at whatever price he wants, to be honest. And to be fair, this guy is not getting much off of his 8. He might want to take an action to drop himself down to a lower rent because he's just not getting the advantage that, he initially bought into. And it was never. It was probably a good idea to burn to a shittier location earlier. Take his strategy more, right? Although I do have the highest strain. I have been investing in that, and this guy kind of gave up on it. I don't know why. He has highest location, Okay. It would mean throwing away this redrop capability, but it's not like I'm illegal. Okay, so back down here. Rain. Supposed to go for, instead of gaming, we were supposed to go for a walk, but it's raining all week. Anyway, we got something new this turn. No more illegals. Nobody can can take new illegal cards any longer. Cheapest yellow. That goes here for $300. If you have a lot of loans that you could pay off at once, it might make sense because then you're saving yourself several $100s. But yeah. Okay, what are we doing? We can't fire people after this, and we're probably going to want to fire. What are we sitting at? We don't have a lot of resources available to us right now. I think we want to grow and make sure we drop some yellows into place. The additional reds don't really help us, but we're going to buy them anyway. And we can drop their value. So we'll go here and here. Our grow costs are 400. I'm sorry, 500. I got 2 there. What is the fee? The fee is only over here. Additional 100 for any harvest. So yeah, that's going to be on a per item basis. So $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $800 to harvest everything. I'm set up with after that. Greens. I don't want to undercut this, so screw it. Reds, I do want to undercut that and sell as many reds as I can. Yellows, I'm undercutting the price there. And I'm lowballing these. It undercuts him. It doesn't undercut this. He's got one of those. I like piles, well, they hurt. But, no. They obscure, how many pieces you have in the space. So I kind of don't like just piling everything up the way I have them stacked there. All right, over here, I have a replacement if I want it. Cheapest yellow. I have nothing for sale. So fuck me, right? Let it go. He gets his $300. I might be at this point thinking, I can't even beat the leader. I should be competing to not be in last place. That should be my goal. And this is always, what are you trying to do within your position in any given game? Okay, well, what am I trying to do? One thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this. Unfortunately, I have to pay money to do that. This thing costs me $800. Rent comes no matter what. But moving here is going to cost me 200 extra bucks. So it kind of sucks to do that. Unfortunately, I just have nothing. Like, I have no goods to sell. So I think I will grow. Yeah, this costs money too, right? Cost me 200 bucks. I can't take an illegal. And I get 4 yellows. Now I have the highest strain, which means I win something. I can afford to undercut people and be down here. But that's all I'm going to be selling. I got 3 redraws. That's real helpful. I get a criminal. Yeah, don't want that. No cops. And you can see having a good location means you don't have to hire security. Somebody comes and buys my pink. I will accept that happily. Okay. And now, move this over here. What do I want to do? I'm paying a lot for this, but it has its advantages. Next turn, I can't move. Is it worth $1,000? Well, it would be 800 bucks because it cost me 200. I don't know. Perhaps. A bad roll? Yes. So I'm going to leave that as it is. I don't get anything off growing. I can fire somebody next turn, or they can fire themselves. So what do I want to do? I'm going to do things a little out of order. I prefer that. Greens I can move up to $500 each. This is at that. Reds I move down to $500 each to match him. What do I want though? I don't have a shit ton of money. I'm not going to want to move. I don't want to buy any of this. My advertising is at 3, which ties him. And I'm not going to beat him on anything else. He's actually got all 3 of the advantages. No, he doesn't have the most strains. Huh. I could go wholesale, but here's the thing. If I don't sell my stuff by the end of the game, it's not money. Right? Let's just take a look at that. There's no end of the game here. You've got player with most money wins. I seem to think that that's the case. What I don't see is the clarification that I thought I saw elsewhere. But yeah, I think, whatever you're holding on to is just what you're holding on to. You're not gonna win. Oh, here we go. End of game. The 10th turn, the pay rents of wages. Any standing loan is minus 600. All the tokens cannot be sold. So anything I invest in is dangerous. I could pay $100 for the goober and almost assure myself an extra $100 for a green compared to what I have. I'm going to hold my actions because my grow doesn't do anything for me, and I really can't think of anything I want to do right now. Walk in pink, I don't get it. It helps him. I don't have a chance against him, but I'll take a redraw. Maybe I get something that does good for me. A walk in red, that also helps him, but I can't burn my second one. So this is even better for him. He gets 500. What do I want to do? I want a lot more stuff to sell. I don't have the money. And this is what really sucks. I don't have the money to cut. I could just, ditch one of these buildings that I'm paying rent for. And you know what? I'm not paying rent. I haven't been paying this extra 400, I think. It's so hard to keep track of all the little mechanical actions you take. Part of what I'd like to do, I went out and got the illegal fertilizer so that I could grow more quickly, but it costs. So that sucks. I can't do an illegal, which is one way of getting some extra cash. These at 400 are not a good place. I'll win them selling at 300. I'll flip my grow. No, this is going to cost me. Oh no, it only cost me 300. Fine. I'll flip my grow. That cost me 300 to get myself two reds. Because I'm illegal already. My reds, I have a lot of advantages. I'll try to sell at 4. We'll move this here. And I'm fatigued already. Plus my game is playing itself. Find the Blaze Cup here. Because it's $1,000. That's a big hunk of money. That's going to be red marijuana and strain value, which might make it desirable not to sell your marijuana. Anyway, we're over there. Cheapest blue. Can't do anything about it. Let's make a roll. See what we're looking at. We're looking at highest strains between these two. That's going to be him. He gets the big $200. But if you're not cheapest, you're not in the game at all. And I got 2 workers. Can they do much for me? Maybe. A goober for 100 does me some good. This cop isn't doing me any good, but I can fire him next turn. Let's spend 100 on the goober. That gives me a chance at selling one of my greens. I essentially sell it at 500, which I'm not going to be able to do, so I can undercut people. And are these the prices I want? I got undercut. I'm getting beaten by everybody on the yellows. I want to drop those prices. I got so many of these, I'm going to cut their price. The reds, I guess I'm going to cut my price on reds as well. Whoa! I had to cut this. That would be $400. I get 600 back and 2 red. I don't know why I didn't do that. I'll just put them in with these reds. Okay. You know, it feels like I shuffled, but the important thing is the one I just added. A rent increase, not worth doing anything about. Do I want to get rid of? What do I want to get rid of? I don't have a shit ton of money. I have these yellows, they're not going to sell. I growed already. Fuck. I don't have enough money to invest in wholesale stuff. I don't know. Like, I just don't have the money to do much of anything right now. Can't do illegal. I'm going to fire a worker. That keeps me this for another turn. He fires himself. Cheapest yellow. I mean, I'm not really in competition with him. And this is going to go to him. Do I let it go? Do I have anything that I can sell? Yeah. I'm going to draw another one. Although I may not want to sell my reds right now. Another cheapest yellow, you know, I did it enough. Give him his 200 bucks. Fuck it. What am I doing with my workers? I have some cash, but prices are in the crapper now. I'm going to move my reds up to 600, working towards that Blaze Cup, I guess. I'm going to move my greens up to 600, because nobody has greens. But what am I doing with my money? What is my action right now? He has 4. He has 5. I have 5. I am going to spend $200 to grab a strain off this guy. And we're seeing the cannibalism as people fight for second or whatever, you know, which feels kind of cheap. I'm guessing that most groups would quit at this point. Closest green. Am I fighting for first or second? You know? I have no fucking money. Closest green goes to him at 600. I don't know. Am I still fighting for first? Nah, I'm not fighting for first. I'm out of first. Yeah, I'll let him have his 600 bucks. Fuck it. And this is the thing, is that once people start saying, look, I can't win first place in a game, and I'm going to go for second, or I'm going to go, you know, maybe try to have the most money that I can get. Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, that one confuses me. That's starting locations. What do I want to do? I growed already. I'm going to pay $100 and I'm going to do another grow with my counters. That's what I planned on. It doesn't really make sense. Put my reds up here. My yellows, I need cash. So I'll play for the yellows. We'll see. Alright, I guess we go around again. Don't really want to. But it's just not very exciting right now. We get what is this? This is the review. Nobody can stop it this time. Okay. And this is, remember, additional advertising. The review is going to be red and strain. I've got 5 red. Wow. 4 strain. 6. 4. He gets the good review. That gives him 2 additional advertising for free, which is pretty cool. What are we doing? Well, we can't win the blue price, so we'll shoot them up to 600 each. Is that a pink? Okay, no. The yellow price, and yes, you should do the worker first, but the hell with that. The yellow price, I'm going to say we still can't win. We're beaten out by everyone. We'll cut that. The pinks, nobody else has any. We'll shoot that price up. We got the goober for this. And hey, we have a competition for this if things go badly. Fuck it. Let's, or do we just want to collect money? It's going to be hard to dispose of all those reds in one turn. Let's put it at 500. If everybody's playing at 600, we can make some good bank off them. I forget to use a worker, isn't it? Well, see, now I've done 2. What did I just do? I growed and I bought the goober. Oh, this guy fired one of his own. That's why he's at 2. So I got my last worker. I can do something with him. I'm going to take the action to fire the cop. Again, I don't like how that works out. Now, he doesn't really help. He takes a couple of bucks, a couple hundred off the payout, off the problem. But I'm guaranteed to have to pay him 100, so he's just not that valuable to me. Okay, let's go down to the second player. And now he's done, he's not. Green, cheapest. Wow. Do you want to blow your goober? Yeah. I'll blow the goober to get 600 bucks. Part of the reason for this is holding a lot of stock at the end of the game sucks. We're not really there, but I got cuttings coming and all kind of stuff, so screw it. And now he gets his action. He can't fire his worker. Can't move next turn. So I'm going to put this back and spend 200 to get this. Is that a good idea? I don't know. What about my prices? Yellow's selling at 200. That's garbage. And I'm not going to beat him out anyway, am I? I mean, I will with some things. Those yellows at 100, I mean, that's really garbage. I'm going to move my yellows out to 400. Now, this would be the big deal, to move yellows up to 600 with a goober if you don't have very many. Cheapest bongs. That's 100 bucks over here. Fire sale, fire sale. I like the mechanisms in theory. They're pushing me in terms of they're causing me stress in terms of what I do. Now, getting rid of this to get something vaguely expensive is not worth it. We're going to up the price of our bong because it's a deal. Our reds we want to hold on to. Our greens, we're the only person holding them, so we'll keep them at price. What we may want to do is buy more stock. If we buy some wholesale, we may be able to edge ahead a little bit. The other option, we can't steal strain from him, and he's our biggest competition, actually. These guys are both at 4. Of course, somebody could take one of my strains. But there's good prices on this stuff. Now, he's going to cut down, and we're going to slowly drop the prices. But right now, because he's up at 600, I can blast my way up. I think I am going to buy wholesale and hope for the best. Spend 5 because I'm interested in getting the Blaze Cup. May not be worth it, but I've got to hope for luck. A green 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1100. I thought I was at 1,000. Oh, fuck. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not cool. I wanted a green. I don't particularly want a yellow. Even though I don't have any, it's at shit price right now because of all of those in there. Do Do I want more of these? I don't want more exposure on them. So I'm going to just go with this 5, 6, 7, 8, I guess. It's everything at highest price. That used up all my actions. This guy has an extra action. I guess I'll finish off the turn. Here. A robber. We don't want a robber. Cheapest red. That'll sell one of his. I don't want to ditch another thing because it's bad, and I'm already given up that I'm at any kind of competition with him. So I'll let him sell it for 500 bucks. And now, and I've seen players who are like, oh, that's not reasonable. You shouldn't be able to, you shouldn't even be able to play, to your own choice of victory conditions. Like, just really weird arguments on stuff like that. So I've just helped him. If I was playing to avoid last place or to have the most money that I could possibly have or something, if that's my personal goal after I can't win the game anymore, I should be able to reach for that, whatever it is. Anyway, what do we do with him? Well, we can't sell yellows at the price we've got them. So we're going to push them there. We're keeping reds where they are. We don't have money. We hope for the best. And I pay $100 for another grow using my illegal fertilizer. Now I go my last time. And we have a new review. This didn't do shit. Uh-oh, I'm almost out of battery. Okay. The review is 4, 4, and 7. He wins the second review anyway. I could lower this 4 to a 3. That doesn't save me any money. I could move out of the 4, but that puts me out of the lead for other things. And I'm already behind in advertising. I could can my advertising. I'm in second place no matter what. Is that something that takes an action? See, this is what's confusing. So, like, you can buy advertising. You can choose, I guess, not to pay for advertising, which makes sense. But I find this whole thing about getting rid of the security that looks like it's free, but it's also something you can do with higher fire security. That doesn't feel terribly correct. I wouldn't be able to get rid of advertising here, I'm assuming. But I don't really want to get rid of it just for the sake of getting rid of it. And I don't really want to fire my dude just for the sake of firing my dude. Which leaves me with, what the fuck do I do? You know? I have no money. I can pass. I could take out a loan to do something, but I don't want to do that. These guys can fire themselves, so I'll just pass. And that's the end of the line for this. We do a reset. Next turn, nobody can move anymore, so everybody's stuck in the locations they're in, which is okay. This guy did the move. He was the one who really wanted to get out of there. I have so many workers, I might have wanted to consider getting rid of a worker just to be able to slip so that I'm ahead of, so that this guy wouldn't always be going first each turn, which has definitely helped him. Early in the game, there's a penalty for being first. First of all, you have a shittier starting location, which means you lose a lot of races, so you have to undercut everyone. Well, that strategy, like, just went to his whole existence, and it worked out really, really well in conjunction with the wholesale purchases. Anyway, I need to eat something else. Into the second to last turn, and this is no movement. See what we get. Come by my red. Sure. Got no choice. What are we doing? See, one of the problems with growing, I think that's what I want to do. But I probably want to cut right now. And I may not want to cut this last one if it doesn't generate anything. So yeah, let's grow. And we'll push these up and this up. That's $200 per plus an extra 100 is $600 for those four greens. It's a lot of green. Not going to get a growth in time for the cup to push the reds up. But now the big question is where I want to put everything. And we look around and we see, look, I can bump my yellows up to 300 because everybody shot their prices up. My bongs aren't a great deal anymore. So we're going to slowly cut the price down, hoping we get some of them, but you know. And then greens, again, prices are really inflated right now. We'll just pump them into there and hope for the best. And of course, nobody's really trying to stop this guy from running away with the game. Cheapest green, I don't have an option. Cheapest green is over here. That's another $500 bonus for him. What are we doing? Grow doesn't matter. We got one worker. We got butt kiss we can do. I think we're going to go wholesale because we have a little bit of money. We can play with that. And we'll drop these. The wholesale, what do we want to buy? Guess we'll get 2 of each and put them in this spot. What's kind of fucked up is this guy's going to undercut me. But I got one chance to sell, you know? And then I got some extra goods which I can rearrange the price of. Cheapest pink. An easy $500. Remember, I only spent $400 on all of them. There's some things that are just great deals if you can set them up. What do we got? We're going into the Blaze Cup. We have 7 to 4 to 4. I feel pretty comfortable with the Blaze Cup. I don't necessarily want to sell. Don't necessarily not want to. It's kind of a fucked up thing. But I will want to drop these. And what about my greens? I want to drop the greenies. Luckily, I'll have a couple of players before the price drops below mine on those. And I don't have enough money. I do. I have the lab test. Excellent. I'm going to grode. Go here. And we get 2 yellow. Oh, I screwed up again. Should be down there. Just not good at this. Get 2 yellow. I paid the $200 to harvest. Puts me down here. I'm not going to get another growth phase, but I want the most opportunities to sell. I'll put them here because I have a lot of advantages. Greens and reds. Yep, we're happy with all of that. Go up here. Workers are going to probably be firing themselves, kind of en masse, because next turn we can't. Of course, if you think you have something you can do, you won't. Comes in and buys a bong, doesn't want it from here. Do I want to throw that away? No, I don't care. Give him his 500 bucks. He's just piling in the cash. And kind of because he's running away with the game, nobody wants to stop him, you know? All right. I have no money. This is not good. I need to find money. I'm not going to win the reds. Do I have an advantage anywhere? I have the best location. I'll hope for the best. I don't have money to do anything, basically. I can take it all alone and fire myself. And that's kind of all we can do. Let's go around another time. And then I'll check. I'm waiting on word. I just got word from one of the guys who's supposed to come gaming. But, like, it was a, hey, I sent you a message on Facebook. Did you get it? And I went and looked and I didn't. So, I don't know what's up there. Okay, cheapest bong. Let's make a roll. Because we got 3 people who are there, but one isn't in it. Highest advertisement, that's going to be over here. 500 bucks. That certainly makes up for whatever I spent on that. You know, I spent like 400 bucks on the pile, so I come out ahead. But I got 2 workers. Well, let's look at my prices. I want to undersell everyone. My reds aren't a good deal anymore. But my greens, it's time to do the goober move. I could put a yellow up there. There aren't a lot of greens. Yeah, but I want to sell my goodies. Okay. We'll do that. Nobody's going to pick the rip-off if he took it. So, doesn't really matter. 3 picks instead of 1. You know, you could stop that even. Which would be kind of weird, but cheapest pink. Cheapest pink is down here at $400. Trying to think how much the turn order affects things. So, you definitely have advantages over certain players. Like, I go after him. I can undercut him no matter what for almost all of the actions. And that's a big deal. It's a big deal when the chits are drawn. A robbery. Can't do shit about it. Oh, they must have fired my security. It's only $200. I'm going to ditch one of these. Actually, no, you can't go over. I guess I have to take it in money. That was 2 of these, I think. I lose count. And the third is the review. The review, I think, still stays here. 7. Nobody else is anywhere near there. I gotta grow. That's all I can do. I gotta relight my pipe. 2 workers available. I don't know what I'm gonna do with 2 workers. Oh, did I want to cut my prices? Yeah. I'm not gonna make, I want to make sales if I can. I sell a red. What happens if I drop to 6? 4, 4, I can do that. I'll take it for $600. We are going to want to cut our prices. We are the only ones with green other than him, and we beat him on everything. What are we going to do with our worker, though? We want to fire a worker this turn, I'm guessing. Let's just do that now. We'll just get rid of everybody. And then last one before a little break. Green, that's going to go to him no matter what. Do I want to ditch that? Yeah. I don't like where I am. I need to make money. Otherwise, I just fire a worker. Which I'm going to do anyway, but I get 3 picks. Not sure how I feel about that. I've got 3 picks, one throwaway. Somebody comes in and buys one of my yellows. Too bad they're so low, right? But now I have some cash. Unfortunately, I don't have the cutting fee. And I'm going to be hitting red, and that's not good. So I don't want to do another grow. Oh, I've got lots of everything's available there. Another review comes up there. Now we're at 1 with 1 redraw. Cheapest yellow. It's everybody but me. Oh, this should have been $300, not $200. I really can't read that. 5 highest strains. That's here. He gets $200. And again, things are selling for garbage now because the prices have bottomed out. This is kind of a neat mechanism that I like there. All right, I don't want to grow. I have cutting fee. Yeah, I will grow. This has to grow. It's the only thing it can do. I will cut for all my money and get myself 2 reds. What does that put me up to? That puts me up to, we'll put him at max. That puts me up to 6, which is actually tied with him. That's interesting. Do we want our yellows where they are? We want more cash. I mean, whatever. Where is it? There we go. All reds plus strain takes the blade. If there's a tie, do a highest roll, which means we may not get everything we expect. Now, what's cool about this is this actually adds to strain as well as to advertising, so it's better than the review is. But of course, strain doesn't matter as much. It matters for the review. All right, pause time. Another time around, my battery didn't charge. I'm really kind of futzing around in my head as to games. I'm actually thinking more and more along the lines, because things are going to start at 6. Which means not a hell of a lot of time, right? I'm not going to see a 6-hour game here. So I'm thinking, I don't know. Like, I'm looking at things that are like 2 hours. You know, it's fucked up because Euros are like relatively short and everything else is a little longer, and there's sort of like this big gap, you know? Look at, thinking for 4 hours or so at most. I don't know. We shall see. All right, let's start with this player, get a little bit done. Somebody walks in and buys one of his bongs for 400 bucks. What a deal. Okay. And he certainly has an action left. What do I want with this action? This is my last chance to fire someone. I don't know that I terribly want to. 100 bucks gives me a fair amount of flexibility if I need to do something. Let's look at what my prices are like. I'm losing on these. That's not good. My reds, I can boost their price up. Pinks, I've got overpriced, along with bongs. I don't want to buy more goods. I'm not going to win the Blaze Cup. This might be helpful to get rid of a piece of stock. My $500 is going to be okay for a little while. Do I want to pay 200 bucks on the whiff just to cut into other people's money? Or do I just want to fire the guy? Like, let's leave it as it is. Let's just fire someone. You know, it's cutback time. Both used. I got an action here. We get an event. And these are not that major. They're not going to absolutely shake the game up, right? Usually. 6, promotional swag. A new business sets up. Each player gets a bong and an edible and places them in any price box. I think it's ordered from this guy first. Kind of doesn't matter where he puts his. Everybody else matters, though. I don't have any of these. I'm going to put them in that $300 box. That's not a bad place. Since we're undercut by that, We'll put ours in the $200 box. And do we have any advantages? We have location advantage in this. We can put him here and beat him out. We got those already in play. This is another thing. You don't have workers, you don't have a lot of actions, you don't get to shift your prices because your turn gets skipped. So he doesn't get to react to what the player before did. Now, can't fire my guy, but I do have options. This is not a bad price for the yellows. I'm perfectly peachy on the greens. The reds at 600 are iffy. I drop them to 500. Blaze Cup is coming up very shortly. I have 6. He has 5. We're going to go with this because I've got this, which helps. I think I'm doing it right. And these guys, I want them down at the $200. What do I want my worker to do? I don't have much I could do. My advertising is 5. His advertising is 3. I already have him beat hands down on advertising. I don't really want to spend 200 bucks on Strain. We're in a close game, I think, relatively, except for him. I think I just pass because I can't fire my last worker. I need somebody to run the store. And I don't have the capacity, not that, well, it would help. I don't have the capability to do the illegal growth. It's a thief. We don't want a thief. I do have workers, I'm assuming, because I'm the guy who has the most things. Green $sign. There are 2 greens. I'm going to cut Goober in and get my $600 payoff there. And I didn't want to cut for another shitty thing. What do I want to do? I have no money. That blows. I'll rearrange my stuff. Can I beat anyone out? I mean, I could take out a loan or something, right? But that's an extra. In that case, I'm losing an extra $100. Which, let's see how the game ends. The 10th turn, they take the money. Edibles cannot be sold. Victory, most money. During the game, a player can take a loan. Oh, a player can pay back a loan at any time. You don't need a card. Okay. But you do have to pay the interest on it. All right, so I was wrong about that. I figured it would take an action to do, and that wouldn't make a lot of sense to do. Any standing loan is $600. I don't think that's fair, right? Because you're paying the rent and wages at the end, so you're actually paying double cost for that loan. But I'll certainly fire someone. And then it's back on me because everybody else has gone. I don't really identify with that guy particularly. I don't know who I mean, I should identify with blue the most. It's another cheapest green. That's not good for me. I'm going to toss that because that's going to go to him. And I feel like I'm not in a fight with him. He's got second for sure. The next is cheapest edibles. Best location, that's me. I get $200 for that. Now I have some money. Unfortunately, it's not enough for me to do my extra growth, which isn't particularly helpful. But if I do the extra growth, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8 to 6. Right now, I'm at 6 to 6. Who's going to win? It's going to come to a check. I'm not in terrible shape on a check. I'm beaten out on 2 out of 3. But I absolutely win the Blaze Cup if I do the growth. So we are going to pay $100 to use the fertilizer. Put these here. That's going to cost me $300 because I'm illegal. So I get 2 back and a loan marker. And I cash in 2 more red, which I will put in the $500 slot. That guarantees me the Blaze Cup. Speaking of which, we're at the end of the turn. Got to clean up, got to swap batteries, and then we'll do the Blaze Cup. Interesting. This is one of very few times where it's really, really vital to go last in a turn. Because I was able, by going last, to be able to do something. Sure, I took out a loan, but that loan cost me an extra $100 or whatever. Now, there is something ugly. I have piles of reds, and I'm going to kind of lose money off of them. But it does guarantee me the Blaze Cup, which makes my capability of selling better. Let's just take a look at what everybody's got for the Blaze Cup. It is not here. So he's running 3. He's running 4. He's running 6. And he's running 8. Blaze Cup definitely goes over here, coming with a $1,000 bonus. Now, what if I had chanced things? Because that would not have been a bad choice, especially if I was going for first place. But there's just so many thousands over there. If that had been the case, it would have been a high roll, which would have gone to highest location. I would have gotten the Blaze Cup without doing that grow. So I could have fired my guy. Oh, this guy should be flipped over. Okay. Oh no, because I unflipped everything. Okay, so I get the Blaze Cup. That pushes me here. This is going to be a tourism turn. That means more business. That's a big deal because there's a lot of stock out there kicking around. Prices aren't great. And first player is going to be over here. And we're going to pause because I'm almost out of pipe. And yeah. Yeah, I talked on the phone with the guy. Like, 2 of the people who are gaming I know aren't really gamers. The other guy was a gamer. And I don't know, he watches my videos, but also, at least some of them, but also definitely is much more interested in heavier stuff than I had planned for. I'm going to go ahead with what I had planned. I'm going to go with B&O because, I don't know. Like I said, 2 of them aren't really gamers at all, but this guy was like trying to convince me to do After the Holocaust. All right. This is the last turn of the game, and you can't even fire people now, which is fine because everybody's down to one worker. Which means people with a lot of stock aren't going to be able to sell it easily. It is a double action turn. Police, finally! What do we get for taking an action here? We get nothing. You are so stupid. Could have had Red Snapper. Instead, you got nothing. And cheapest blue. We're at 200 on blue. What the hell is going on here? He's covering a couple of people, but wants these safe? I don't know. There's a reason to want things safe, because you don't want a string of low sales maybe, but you want to keep some stock. That's going to go to highest strains. Okay. We got a 3 strain here, but here we have a 4 strain. Here we have a 4 strain. The next is adverts, and this guy has adverts because, let's put that there. He has all those plus the ones from this thing. So he gets to sell a bong for $200. I feel like I chose wisely, game-wise. Like I could have played this, right? It would not be a horrible choice, but kind of the randomness might set people off until they kind of get used to randomness. Like, I don't know. I don't know which way makes more sense. So that was 2 chits from him. 2 chits is always hard for me. If I do a grow, I can put a lot more yellows into play. I don't know if I want to. But what do I want my worker to do? It's an interesting question. I want things more or less where they are at. There are enough of these that I'm going to put the rest of these down to 200. Do I want them down at 100? Yeah. Let's just collect my money. We'll buy Goober. He's worth having. Our reds, we want to sell them. Fire sale, fire sale. And we'll keep both of these there because Goober selling at 600 makes more sense. Could, of course, put a yellow up there. I have more yellows, but fuck, whatever. All right. On to the next player. 2 chits, 2 chits. Green money, no options. Wow. Did not see that coming. That's going to go to him automatically. He doesn't have anything. So that's a big $600. Yeah. I think he's got second, to tell you the truth. And then a second one here. There's a rent increase. Doesn't matter. Okay. His question is, does he want to do the grow? Gets me 2 yellows. 4. $200. I can't take an illegal. So I gotta pay the fee. And then what do I put them at? I put them all down here. Everything goes down. A true fire sale. I really should have my pipe in my mouth so you can't hear me talking properly. A rent increase. Do I want to cancel it? Nah. I'm doing well enough that I don't think, plus I have an illegal. Come to me for green. Okay, I'll do that. Wish I had canceled out the rent increase now, because I'd be selling more stuff. All right, grow. Grow doesn't matter for me. What does matter? Here's a big question. One of my advantages is that I'm sitting on this. But if I oh, I can't move anymore. Fuck me. Okay. All right. We got to sell stuff. We got to move the material. That's what it comes to. Prices crash down. Do I want to take an action with my worker? What are we looking at here? We're looking at 4 strain. I have 3. If I take one away, I get the bonus over him. Oh, I have advertising too. That's 5 versus 5. I don't know if that was the competition. Anyway, we did our job. All right, last player. Okay, that brings us up to 3 forchets with 2 redraws. This is so annoying. Sell red. Cheapest. Cheapest reds are here and here. It's going to be him. I don't have to roll. He could goober it, but $400. I was at 4 and 2. Now I'm at. He doesn't have many things that work well for him. 3 and 2. Like whatever he draws, it's just not going to make him money. Cheapest pink. I don't know between those two, so I will look for the die. Where the fuck did I hide it? All right. Over here. Okay, 3. This is the 3 and 2 pick. And we get a highest location out of $100 edibles. That's him. Now it's at 2 and 2. And again, he's not going to cancel anything for the most part because he can't sell anything except on a walk-in. Rent. And now this is the last draw with 2 picks. Nobody took a lawyer. I get to sell a yellow. Wasn't too likely. Okay. He gets an action. It behooves me to grow. That leaves me my options for later. Do I want to drop a couple of yellows? Here's the problem. If I grow to get greens, the game is over at the point where I get them. So I'm not going to get anything from that. So I'm going to pay $100 to get myself a pair of yellows. Let's look at the price points. Yellows are selling at 100 each. Hey, I at least make money if I sell them both. What are my reds going to sell at? I'll drop them down to 400. Because why not? All right, let's keep going. You get to hear some of the shaking. I forgot his goober. Oh well, he's winning anyway. He gets a green, cheapest money. He'll play the goober now. No need to. I'm the only person with green. Oh, I screwed up. But I wouldn't have been had I used my goober. The other guy would have had green as well. Another chip pull. There's a reason if you had a lot of product that you'd want more activity on this phase. You'd want more pulls. That looks like an event. No, it's the review. Okay. The review is number of reds plus strains. So 3 here, 4 here, 4, 6 here, 6, 7, 8, 9 over here. He finally gets his review. Who's playing this? It's gotta be him. Three picks. It's almost impossible for him to sell anything. Red. I think it's almost guaranteed to go to him. But I'll roll because there's some highest strains. Yes, he's able to sell a red for 400. This is one sort of catch-up thing. I think we pulled one to begin with. I don't know. Yellow. I don't know, everybody's at 100. Highest adverts, that's gotta be him at 3, 4, 5. He sells a yellow for 100. And I think this is the last one. No idea what he's going to do with his worker. Yellow. Highest adverts. Gets $100. So I made $100 off of my cutting fees. What do we do? There are no greens out there. I am going to go to the wholesale and buy a green for $300 and put it up here at the $600 price point. He's still got his goober. That's the only green that's out there. But I can't beat, like, goober's going to trump me even if I'm a lower price, so the hell with that, right? Good idea? Probably not. But if 2 greens come up, I make a little bit of money, and I think, in last place there. I'm illegal. I owe a $300 fine, and the lab test is gone, which means I can't use it anymore. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to throw that one away. I get to throw 3 away. Screw that. So I'm at 2 and 2. Walks in for 100. 1 and 2. You know, there's a value to having a low amount of stock and just say, maybe I'll get the lucky walk-in, right? I hope I gave him the $100. And know I threw the thing in. He gets it again. I don't think I did. What do? I've already worked. All I can do is grow. Has absolutely no effect on play. Last player, last action, and then we have rents and wages. Police, we cancel that out. We're at 2 and 1 now. We definitely don't want to burn on this, and we're probably the one who's going to be able to sell it. A big red at highest adverts, it's ours. We get $400 for that. And 1 and 1. Sorry if the camera shakes when I shake the cup. Cheapest edible. I think this automatically goes to him. No, straight, I don't know. We'll see. 3 highest adverts. We have no adverts. We have no adverts. And we are both the... And we have no adverts. Okay. And they all have edibles. So it goes to location, which is this guy. He gets a whole big $100. I mean, this is the thing. You're just trying to liquidate your stock, which doesn't feel right. That was last chip pull. My last action. I could grow and cut and not make money off of it. I can't draw an illegal. I can't move, which sucks because I've got a big fee for that. Can't fire myself. Advertisements are canceled in the rent and wages, which is weird because I think if you paid for advertisements, you get to ditch them at the end of the game, essentially, which I wouldn't be thinking about. I think I just pass. Which then makes it rents and wages. Let's go down the slope. This is way up there. So I'm at 100 plus 400, 500 to begin with, 6, 7, 8. Can't get rid of that stuff. 900 for the worker. Didn't get to use my Gruber. Did I say 900? I think so. All right. Over here, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like 1,000. Oh, look, I don't have 1,000. These cost 600 each at the end of the game. Over here. That's 1,000, 1,400. 1,500, 1,600. And then his, which is quite high, 9, 13, 1,700 for the rent, 18, 19, 2,000. I guess we can ditch the ad. $2,000. And we do sink below significantly with those loans, etc. All right, so this guy's at like negative $2,300. This guy's at 1,300. He's at about negative 600. And many thousands. So yeah, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. So what we saw in this game was that being lean and mean is definitely an option to win the game. I gotta swap batteries. Your reaction is based on your seating order. And the sort of cascading effect that happens, and here it was just very clear because it really went in an order of the lowest to highest value throughout the whole game in terms of location choices. And also other things kind of played in the same way, although we had a lot of strains here. It wasn't enough to make up in the end, but early on this gave him we had it so that each player had their own edge so that they could all compete at kind of the same price because it came down to what the die roll was for the highest tie. The only person who couldn't compete was this guy, and he would set the price lower, and then everybody would have to drop down to his level if they could make money off of it, unless he had a low stock there or whatever. But you have a lot of flexibility in terms of what you decide to do. And I think that's kind of the most interesting thing here is there are games that like you sell your goods and you sell your goods by bid, like the 2 games that I mentioned or 3 games that I mentioned, that are sealed bids, and you just sell everything that you've got at the lowest price, or you buy everything. They also have buying the stuff at the highest price, and the wholesale market, would be impacted by what people put in there. Another option is something like the Silverton market, where each player in turn, if they're able to do a delivery with a lot of goods, then what they want to do is they want to not deliver for a long time, drive the price up, and then sell everything. And you have that same kind of market in the business strategy games and whatnot, except that every turn people are able to deliver stuff. People don't have a monopoly on a market. In Silverton, the whole game is run by sort of the monopoly on the market. But the thing is, each player, so Silverton doesn't give it to you where you're the first person to deliver the stuff and you get the full price. Instead, people can collude and like not deliver coal, to Reno or whatever. I mean, not Reno, but where is this? Salt Lake City. Not deliver coal to a certain location, drive its price up to the very maximum, and then sell all their coal at that price. Now, it doesn't really work that way because you have to deliver all your goods. So with coal in particular, it doesn't work because you end up producing so much of it that you just keep delivering it. But anyway, in this game, you've got this kind of reactive mechanism, but it feels a little artificial because of the turn limits, is I guess where I'm going with that. Anyway, I'll come back with the review. Probably said a lot that I mean to say in the review here. I often say more in the wrap than I should. Sometimes I get to it in the review. Sometimes I leave out what I already said in the wrap because I said it so recently. All right, up it goes.